Hi everybody, my name is Rona and I'm mum to Joshua who is now 4 who has autism. So for anybody who's just new to start following me, and for anybody who has just followed my video on YouTube, thanks for following me. And I just wanted to come on and answer some of the hundreds of questions I've had since my video went up. The video went crazy in the last couple of days. It's now at 100,000 views. So thank you so much everybody who's sharing it and trying to spread some good word about CBD for autism. I just want to say, first of all, I'm not being sponsored by anybody to do this video or to talk about CBD oil. I'm talking as a mum of 2 children on the spectrum and 1 child with Down syndrome who has used CBD oil to help my baby boy to come back to me, basically. I also take CBD oil myself and I find it an amazing help. As a stressed out mum, I'm now totally chilled and totally relaxed, so it's by no way anyway sponsored. It's just basically a mum's opinion on what works and what doesn't work. So I'll just go back to the basics very quickly. Joshua is 4 years of age. He was diagnosed with autism at 2 and we started CBD oil roughly around 2.5. He's been on it just over a year now and we've had amazing results. So I will put the link to his video up at the end. Again, if anybody wants to watch it, or it's in the bio of our Facebook and Instagram page at Molly and Joshua. So you can click on the link there to see that video, and that really explains his whole journey from before he was diagnosed with autism, before he regressed, and then when he started oil, his whole journey since he started the oil, which has been a huge transformation. And we were very, very grateful to CBD oil for that. So I had a huge amount of questions about it, so I'm going to try and answer some of them now, and I may have to do another video afterwards to answer any more questions that come in. I'm no expert on CBD oil, I just know bits and pieces about it, so I'm going to give you a mother's point of view. I'm also going to point you in the direction of a lot of experts on CBD oil who have helped me through my journey and to pick out which oil is best for my child and to pick out dosages and to go through all of that. So most people have asked me is why did I choose the oil that we're using? So Joshua has been using Charlotte's Web Advanced. This is the original formula. I'm going to put a picture and a link of that up at the end as well. And that has been the oil we chose. At the time I did a lot of research into different oils and that was the oil that seemed to be the most popular. So it was just random, I just tried it. We got very, very lucky in it worked straight off. We had results within a day. His eating habits changed literally instantly, and just weekly by weekly we had huge massive changes. His stimming stopped, his eating came back to fairly normal, his interaction with us came back, his eye contact came back, and his imaginary play and his interaction with other children came back. It's been amazing. So I haven't changed him off that oil. Now it has been hit and miss coming and going with availability, but it's back available now. The only place it's available at the moment is through savagecabbage.com. I'm going to put a link to their Instagram and Facebook page as well. Jade is the owner there and she's amazing and so helpful, so you can email there. There's lots of oils and not every oil is going to work for every child. So by telling you that Joshua uses Charlotte's Web Advanced or original is not to say that it's going to work for your child. So just be aware of that and don't be disappointed. It reacts differently with every child, and I know people who've tried the Charlotte's Web and it hasn't worked for them. So you have to be a little bit ready for perseverance and determination, and it's all about staying positive. I was convinced myself this was going to change my child, like the videos I saw on YouTube when I started researching it. So I really want this to work for as many of you parents as possible, but be prepared that it may not be the first time you get it right. It also takes a bit of hit miss with dosages. It's very confusing when you start off and you may not know where to begin. And again, this is where the experts will help you decide that. So basically, they say to start off with small dosages, and which is like 0.25 ml morning and evening, and try that for about 4 days, and then up it by 0.25 ml every 4 days after that, until you get to a level that you see that it's actually making changes. And when it stops, kind of, you'll get to know when it's too much, that it's not really doing any good, or they get maybe too cranky or, too lethargic on too much oil. So, but Joshua basically is at the moment now, a year into it, year and a half into it, is on approximately one full dropper from the 30 ml bottle every day, which works out roughly about a mil in the morning. He doesn't take it in the evening anymore. He did at the beginning, but as it's built up in his system, we stopped it at night time, and he hasn't really needed it since. Um, so another thing about CBD oil, and I know so many people are afraid to try it because they hear cannabis, they hear, CBD, and they just think the hallucinogenic effect. This was the reason I started taking oil. I wanted to see how it felt, to be honest. Was he all wishy, or was he all, hallucinogenic on it and, wiped out on it? Absolutely not. It's the other side of the plant. Again, I'm not going to go into the specifics because I'm not an expert on it, but definitely it has no side effects whatsoever. I take it now, and I take it in the capsule form. Another thing to be aware of, CBD oil tastes absolutely disgusting. It's vile. And I'm very, very blessed. Joshua loves the taste and always has. So many children don't take it and won't take it. But there is little alternatives for that, which I'll go into in a little while. So so Joshua's on a full dropper in the morning and nothing in the evening now, but he was on a full dropper in the evening too, which is about a mil as well. But as he built up to that, he's started reducing down now, and but on a good day, I might give him a little bit less, and if he's having a rough day, I'll give him a little bit more. If I have a family occasion day on, I might give him a little bit extra, just to kind of, you get to know, you just get to know your child and when they need it and when they don't. Another question I've been asked is, what happens if you stop the oil, and is this oil for life? And I would say yes, this oil is fairly much for life, but I'm hoping it will reduce down as we go on in life. I have never taken him off it for longer than 2 days, because after 2 days I got worried. He started to regress more. He started to get cranky. They were the days that I got a call from the crash saying he'd hit somebody, or he'd been agitated or angry in school, which he never is now anymore. So that was enough to put me back on it. So no, I've never tried him off it, and I don't intend to for the foreseeable future. But yeah, and I can understand it, because even when I come off the oil, I take the capsule form. Sorry, I meant to say that. I take the capsule form because it's so much nicer than the actual real oil in your mouth. But you don't need as much a quantity as an adult, because I don't have autism, so it's more for me, it's just to help with anxiety. So the way it affects me is, and really I noticed absolutely no difference on it until I came off it. So when I came off it, I realised how stressed I was. And, after a couple of days, I realised how not agitated, but how less tolerant I was for the kids when they were crying, and I was snappier. And this is how I had been up until I started taking the oil. It's not because of coming off the oil. I kind of realised that's how I was. So when I was on it, I was much more relaxed, much more able to cope, much more, less stressed. And also, one of the main things is I got up in the morning very, very focused. So where I had 100 million things spinning around in my head every single night, going to bed, not sleeping great because I'm going to have to this. And, I have 3 children with disabilities, so I was getting calls every day going, I've got speech therapy today, and I'm like, which child is that? So it is a stressful life. Any, parent of a child with a disability, it's a stressful life. You have a lot of appointments, you have a lot of worry, you worry about the future. So yeah, I think it's no harm to help yourself, because if you're stressed out, you're doing no good for your child either. So the tablets I take, or the capsules I take, are CBD Sense. I have a discount code for them. They kindly gave me a discount code for your first order, which is Rona10, and I'll put all the links at the end of this as well. And I say their CBD oil, unfortunately, is not cheap. It is expensive. Joshua's oil is working at around £295 a month to every 6 weeks, and now he's on a little bit less. I would pay 1 million. I would find the money to pay it to have the differences in my child. So, what I do is, with his domiciliary care allowance, that's his oil allowance, and that's what I pay for with that. Also, then the oil I'm on works out around €50 a month for my capsules, and I take one a day. And again, if I had a really really stressful day, I might take a second one. There is a lesser strength in those, if that you could take if you were a little bit milder. My 14-year-old son who has Asperger's, he takes them as well. He takes the lower dosage of the CBD Sense tablets, and he is flying it in school. He's doing his junior cert this year, and when he's on it, he's so much more focused. He gets his study done. He's relaxed. Otherwise, he can get very distracted. So yeah, I'm a huge advocate for CBD oil. My whole family are on it, and it's been an amazing difference on it. Another point that people are asking, CBD is completely legal in Ireland and in the UK, and again, you need to check your own country if you're abroad. It's the THC part of the CBD oil that is illegal in Ireland anyway. So it is completely legal, it's completely safe, there's no side effects. And as I say, do any research into it. I'm going to leave you up the links to the Savage Cabbage page. Again, you can contact them and they will help you with any inquiries. And then the CBD Sense page is the one for, say, the mummies or the more stressed out people, to help deal with stress and anxiety. The other thing I wanted to say is there is a page on Facebook called the CBDs of Autism. So anybody with a child with autism, I do recommend you join that group. It's amazing help, because what you have on there is basically, it's a closed Facebook group, but it has all of parents who are trying the oil, who have had great success stories. You can see Joshua's story there, and you also have some of the experts on there, so you can ask questions. You can do it anonymously if you want, but you can actually go on and put up your child's symptoms and what you're looking for, and it will the people will help you and give you advice on it. Do your research before you start. Don't jump into anything. It's not for everybody, and I completely understand that. Some people just aren't even interested in trying it, and that's by all means, it's fine. It was for me, and I was willing to try it, and it worked, so I'm so happy with it. I've had a huge number of posts on my YouTube video, and all about vaccines, and I don't want to go into a huge debate with it here. Everybody has their opinion on vaccines. Joshua's regression was around the 18-month mark, but Joshua did have signs of autism before that. So if you want my personal opinion on it, no, I don't think vaccines cause autism. Do they trigger it? I don't know. It is a very, very difficult open subject. It has been proven that it doesn't cause autism, but it is around the same time, so there is a huge controversy. I don't want to get involved in that, and I've had so many comments on it, and we'll probably never know. But all I'm interested in is getting my child back now and trying to help him as much as I can to live in our world. He still has autism, don't get me wrong. This doesn't get rid of autism. It just helps him, and it helps him to communicate. His speech is flying now, and he's coming out with sentences. He never stops talking now. And those days, I never thought I was going to hear his voice. When I was looking back in the videos to make that video, I really couldn't believe the silence. Every video was just silent, and me calling his name, going, Joshua. And, we had his hearing checked, we had everything checked. And, we knew it was more than that at that stage. I know a lot of men, including my own partner, are very hesitant to try out CBD oil, and again, most of the time they think it's because it's, the chill out Amsterdam kind of cannabis. So just make sure that everybody's educated that it's not. It's from a different part of the plant, and it is completely safe with no side effects. And it can only do you good. Also, I haven't been sick in over a year since I started on oil. Joshua is rarely sick. He does have asthma, and he have an odd asthma attack, but he doesn't really get sick that often, which he was before that. And now that he's eating more as well, that can probably do something with that, because he's more nutritioned than he was. He is off his occupational therapy and physiotherapy and the waiting list for the dietitian, that he's been taken off them completely. He's still getting some speech therapy for his pronunciation on words. I'm trying to think of some of the other questions that were asked. It's basically down to every parent in how they feel about the child and what way they'd like to approach it. But get advice, go on to the CBDs of Autism page. Make sure you answer the 3 questions when you get there, and you can tell them that you saw Joshua's video. And ask for advice on there. They're amazing to help and so supportive. And you meet lots of people in your situation who are scared to try it, so afraid of, you know, oh, that was one of the questions. What would doctors and all the physios and all the different experts say? I told them all. I told them I didn't tell them for the first month because I wanted to see would they notice, and they all called me aside and said, what is the dramatic changes? What has happened? What have you done to get these amazing results? I told his doctors, I told in the hospital, I told everybody. A lot of them are flabbergasted. Again, they're not really, they're kind of afraid to comment. They don't know enough about it. They don't feel there's enough research into it. Some people don't. Some people his therapists have been blown away by it and are telling people about it. And it's a pity that CBD oil is being kept so quiet when it's doing so much good for so many people. I know some people are asking as well for CBD for conditions that are not to do with autism, and I would suggest to go on to, if you're in Ireland anyway, CBD Oil Users Ireland, or find a group on your in your area. There's hundreds and hundreds of CBD oil groups that can give you advice on different ailments and different things. And I have lots of friends between cancer and epilepsy and different things. Some people will require the THC for more medical cannabis end of things, which is unfortunately illegal and stupidly, but so again, it's going to depend on your own person's, what their symptoms are and what they require. But for autism anyway, I think it's worth a try. I can only encourage people to try it. If it doesn't work for you or if it's not for you, that's fair enough, but just don't be afraid to try some alternative treatment for it. So I hope that's helped answer some of the questions for it. Again, I'll leave the links at the end here and some pictures as well on the Instagram. So I'm going to save all this video to the Instagram stories. So you can click on my highlights in CBD, called CBD, and you'll see this whole video there. And I'll put the links on it there so you can actually click the links to find it much easier. Thank you for watching this if you're on YouTube, and please subscribe to the channel, and I'll be putting up regular videos of Joshua's, and Molly, who is my daughter with Down syndrome, their progress through the years. So you can follow them there. And if you have any questions, I have no hesitation. I know I have loads of people to get back to, and I will get back to every single one. So don't be afraid to leave a comment or to message me. Would love you to follow me on Instagram, and don't be afraid to share the video or pass it on. I'm very open to talk about anything like that. So as I say, if it helps even one other parent, which it has, I've had about, I'd say 20 parents since I just put the post on Facebook about it, who have started CBD oil, and they're texting me with amazing results already. That's only a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, so share away and let me know your comments below, and I hope this has helped some of you to answer some of your questions. If you have anything else, please just contact me and I'll answer you privately. Thanks, Mel. Bye.